Hello, channel. Very long time. Very long time. Very no see. um, I'm fine. To start off with that, I've been playing a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I've also, for those of you who followed my channel and listened, I had a child a couple of years back, and that's basically the reason why I haven't been posting much, because that's been taking a lot of time. So let's talk about simming, because that's what's interesting here. Airbus, the fly-by-wire Airbus A320nx, A32nx is flipping great. It's really, really good. I'm extremely impressed with the simulator on a whole. I think it's amazing. I have everything. I'll start with just showing you settings, because that's what everybody's interested in. But basically, it's top of the line. 4K, no VSync, 100% render scaling, 200% level of detail, ultra, TAA, ultra, 150, object level of detail. Turn that down a little bit. I could probably turn that back up again, actually. But let's keep it out. Volumetric clouds, ultra, texture, ultra, filtering 8. Yeah, to super sampling 4. I don't really see much of a difference with those. Text changes, I have that to high. Water waves, I have that set to high. Shadows, 248. Contact shadows, ultra on for bloom, but I have depth of field, motion blur, lens correction shut off, lens tray on, and glass cockpit refresh set to medium. Let's try and set this to high. I've heard that actually shouldn't make much of a difference, but let's see how that goes in the Airbus. Otherwise, what else can I say about it? Yeah, everything is on hard, and user experience, I don't even remember what's under there. I have ATC voices turned on. That's it. So I also think I have traffic off at the time. I think I have live traffic on, but yeah, real time online. And I've managed to import Henrik Nielsen's AI ships, the global ship traffic, into the sim, so that's on 100%. It looks great. The wakes are missing, but it's still pretty flipping great. Okay, so today let's talk about what we're gonna do as a flight. We're flying from, I'm in Djerba, which is in Tunisia, I think, and we're flying up to Sicily. I forget the code here, but we're flying from this airport here. Let's go to Djerba. I'm flying a fairly short flight. Stars is Delta Tango Tango Juliet, and we're flying up to Palermo, which is Lima. What is it again? Lima, India, Charlie, Juliet. So that's kind of fun. I've never flown out of Djerba before. I find myself flying out of brand new places all the time with the Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's so great. Just because everything looks so fucking good. Like, it doesn't matter where you go, it just looks amazing. So that's great. But anyway, so that's I've flown into Palermo before. It's a fun place to fly. But I haven't flown in the new flight. So I've started the Ils Alignment. I've turned on some lights inside. We can turn on the seatbelt signs and the no smoking sign. Crew oxygen supply can also go on. And then let's start just checking that everything is set up correctly here. So we'll go into the menu. We have the newest AirAct database, which I'm not sure if it's coming from the Navigraph thing that I have or if it's coming from Microsoft, but it seems to be working quite well. Our flight plan, we're taking off from Djerba, the runway 27, and we're following a SID called Mazra A1B with a no transition. We are then flying a bunch of waypoints. I've done just flight planning in the sim now, which is also pretty not half horribly bad, if I have to be honest, until we get to close to Sicily and Palermo, and we're doing the Atlas 25 approach, and we're following a star called PAL 1P, Palermo 1P. And so that's pretty good. Let's do the cost index. I'm still so new to Airbuses. I don't really know how they work, but that's fine. I think we're flying at flight level 300. And what else? This is nice. They put so many things in the fly-by-wire guys, so you can really have it autofill in all of these fuel things. These are also, it's not calculated, so that's I've just kind of stopped using PFX a little bit just because I find what can I say? It's not, I'm not flying as, I don't know the plane well enough that really matters, and I feel like there's still a bunch of sort of small bugs that show up, and I'll disconnect on the descent and weird kind of things where I won't catch the approach, etc. Maybe it's me doing things wrong, maybe it's things being wrong, I'm not sure. So also started sort of dabbling a little bit with these like flex temps. I don't know exactly, I know there's a chart to calculate it, but it's not 20 anyway. We'll do flaps 1 takeoff here, and we will fill in these, it autofills these for us. Cool. Isn't that basically it? We should get the ATIS, so we'll get the weather set up and we'll get clearance. I'm actually flying with standard with the ATC, but we'll see how that goes. That also is a mixed bag.
Djerba ground, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, ready to copy IFR clearance to Punta Resi.
Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 is cleared to Punta Resi Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.15, squawk 0334.
Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, cleared to Punta Resi Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure on 125.15, squawk 0334.
Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 readback is correct. Contact ground on 118.15 when ready to taxi.
Okay, so that was pretty basic. Nothing fancy or special about that really, but we got our clearance. We're gonna fly up to 10,000 feet. I got the fuel pumps on and I started the APU and I put on the beacon. I guess the next thing we can do is we can pretend that we have some of my track hours. I guess one of the things I really don't like about Microsoft Flight Simulator is that the camera system is no good. I really miss Chase Plane. That was amazing. I really wish they would come out with a similar product from Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Sierra Whiskey 4448, could you please disconnect the jetway from the aircraft?
So I guess we have APU. No, not quite. It takes a long time to start APU on these planes. It felt like it was faster on the Boeings. What else has happened? Well, I've upgraded my graphics card, which is why you're looking at these amazing frame rates with these settings. So I have an RTX 3080, and it's been amazing. It's been a massive upgrade. Clearly, it's really good. So let's go ahead and request pushback.
Djerba ground, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, requesting pushback.
So we're taking off from 27, so we need to turn to go all the way down there. So we'll have it swing us to the left, which is, funnily enough, you have to ask him to go right. And it's also, I really miss GSX. Like, I can't wait for GSX to come out for this sim. I hope it will. I have to say though, like the quality of the modeling and the stuff is pretty good, pretty good. But I wish I would talk to you. I wish I would ask you to turn off the parking brake, for instance, which I didn't do there. So we'll go ahead and turn on engine 2. Down. Ask him to go right so we can go left.
Djerba ground, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, requesting push back tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
I love that. Even the effects, the heat effects. I love like the TVM and seeing the sort of heat shimmer come off of the engine in front of the cockpit. It's really great. Comes our sun.
Djerba ground, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, requesting the end of pushback.
Arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, request to end pushback received.
Engine 2 is started. We can start engine 1. I'll turn on the nav and logo sign. And we can turn on our flight directors. It's kind of handy. Go back here and we'll turn ADIS real quick so we can get the
Djerba airport information.
QNH.
000. Flight 259er at 10. Visibility 6. Sky condition. Few clouds at 1,100 feet. Few clouds at 4,700 feet. Few clouds at 11,800 feet. Temperature 9er. Dew point 10. QNH 29er decimal 9er 1. Visual runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Djerba ground, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448 with Echo ready to taxi IFR.
No good starts.
Arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, taxi to and halt short of runway 27 using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.15 when ready.
Yeah.
Taxi
To
hold
confirm.
short runway 27 via taxiway, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448.
Okay, then we can go ahead and we can look at our flight control page. We'll do full left, full right, up, down, full rudder, center, yes. And we will actually add some trim. It also doesn't calculate this for me, but I'll go ahead and do +1, which seems to work reasonably well for me. We can go ahead and unlock the parking brake and off we go. Taxi light, come on, of course. The APU can come off. And then this is also very nice. You can taxi on, you can totally taxi with idle power in this jet. As long as you sort of get moving, you just move the throttles back to idle and it rolls. I think that's quite accurate as to what it's really like. And yeah, then this goes this guy, the projected wind shear, we can turn that on so we have chance of getting a warning if there's wind shear. Let's see, let's check out this map again. Yeah, we can taxi all the way down. Good, and then I think what we'll do is we'll go all the way to the end and we'll turn around. So this is just default scenery. and the same in Palermo. But I have to say, I think it just looks pretty great, and there's something about the locations that just are so convincing. You really feel like you are somewhere else. I just completed a flight actually before this where I was flying through New Zealand, and it was pretty special. I landed a bush trip basically, and I landed out in the bush, and it just really felt like you're in the middle of the bush. It's really, really cool. So I'm very happy with this sim in general. See how fast it's going. It's just on idle. It's been on idle the whole time. That's fun. It's fun to taxi and drive around it. I have to say, like, I also got myself a VR headset, so I've been flying a little bit in VR. It works pretty well. It's just uncomfortable. I have the Quest 2 and I've ordered this replacement strap, but the default strap is very uncomfortable. So like when you fly for something like 2 hours, and it's not very fun actually. Look at how good it looks too with the runways. They're no longer these flat rectangles. I mean, this is a default airport. There is nothing special to this except it's just magical with the lighting and everything. Look at this. It's incredible. And I just love it. Look at the trees, everything. It's pretty great. There's some like niggles here and there of things that could be improved, but all in all, this platform is insane. I am like blown away by what they've done for us. And I say us because I'm sure you're not the only one who's like struggled with a shitty program for so many years trying to make it better. Like, I mean, I spent so much time just modding and messing up and dealing with emergency signs, dealing with like things that weren't working or things I wanted to improve in prepared, and earlier in that Flight Simulator. It feels so nice to have something that just seems to be working. And even talk about mods and things to add, like they're so good. The freeware available for this stuff is so good. I am so impressed with the community. Like the Airbus here is shockingly great. I mean, it's much better than the Airbus, than the Aerosoft version. I think it's much better than that. Maybe it's also just because the Flight Simulator, things just fly so much better. But it's great. Okay, so we're lined up. We'll go ahead and we'll request takeoff.
Djerba Tower, Arrow and Laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, ready to go runway 27 IFR to Punta Resi.
Arrow and Laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448, cleared for takeoff runway 27.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 Arrow and Laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448.
Okay, so what we'll try and do here is I'll try and take off using the outside view because I think it's going to be quite special. So second detent, now set to chrono. Yeah, I also missed that there's no callouts. That sucks to me. I really like my speed callouts. So I forgot about that, so I have to go back in. Okay, we're ready. I mean, it's pretty basic, but it still looks so special. This is in Tunisia, I guess. Go ahead and we'll turn on the autopilot. Actually, I think we can even already do that. And we will back to climb.
Tunis Maghrib Center Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 is at 2,200 feet, climbing 10,000 feet. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, Tunis Maghrib Center, continue to Masrat as planned. UNH 29.9.1. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, reset transponder. Squawk 0334.
Forgot to turn the transponder on.
Reset transponder. Squawk 0334.
There we go. Yeah, that's one of the things. One of the niggles is like things are harder to click. I find a lot of the click spots to be really small, and like I mean, there's hardly no difference here, and they're ridiculous. Like I've compared to PNG, which is like so much easier to click and just move around the cockpit and make changes than this is. It's not even funny. Look at that, we're already at 8,000 feet. I'm flying with real world weather, but it is Northern Africa is really nice, I guess, today. There's also now the ATC is going to come in like a couple of 100 feet before, I'm assuming. That's what it always does. Oh, retracted landing lights already, even though we're not quite at 10,000 feet yet. There's not like there's anyone around here. Okay.
Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, climb and maintain 16,000 feet.
And then you have to engage the altitude by pressing up or in.
Climb and maintain 16,000 feet. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
This is what I think is so cool about the new simulator, is you can just like decide you want to go somewhere. Like I was flying around in Ethiopia the other night too. Stunning, absolutely amazing, and it looks incredible. Like it looks really incredible. The only place I've found so far that looks kind of bad is Western China. I was flying over from India to Shanghai and I flew over sort of the Himalayas and then came into Western China. It was a very low resolution, the photo imagery, but other than that, things have looked pretty much fantastic everywhere. And I mean, certainly an upgrade to what we've been dealing with. I mean, I wish also the water masks would get included, but like, I mean, look at that. Like, you see this cool little ridge there in the distance. Looks great. Looks really great. I'm loving the new sim. I mean, I guess I know that's, I'm not the only one, but anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a real upgrade. So prepared fanboy no more. I'm now a Microsoft Flight Simulator fanboy. So I don't know what you can't change channel names, I guess, but maybe I'll make a new channel at some point if I start to. But I probably won't, because I'm as you've noticed, I'm not producing a lot of videos these days, and I doubt that will change much over the coming years. I'm expecting another child later this year, so I'll totally have my hands full, I guess, for another 2-3 years. It's been nice though. It's been a joy. Really enjoyed fatherhood so far. So yeah, so from Tunisia to Sicily, it's only about 300 miles. That's not a terribly long flight, which is why I chose to do it today. 270. Yep. Sure. Here we go.
Climb and maintain flight level 270. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
So they've really done a great job here. Like none of this was implemented, I think, or if something was, I don't remember what it was. Maybe the fuel page, but now they pretty much have like all the pages. They have the engine page, the bleed page, pressure, cabin pressure, electricity, hydraulics is still not on, but the APU is there. Air conditioning, door page, wheel page with all the different temperatures of the different brakes. Everything is pretty great. Flight control page, obviously you've already seen that, and the status page, and recall and clear. And then I learned recently you press all and it cycles. I did not know that by pressing the same button. Pretty neat. What else is kind of neat about this? Yeah, I found out you could do this too, but I haven't actually. You can pop up panels, but they're by pressing Alt-GR and clicking. But I find it kind of not very useful, especially because my main thing that I pop out is usually this page, is the MCDU. But it only pops out the display, and what I actually want popped out is what I press. It's not what I see. So slightly less useful than it should be. Okay, here. Okay, well, why don't we look at charts while we're at it? It's a pretty short flight, as we said. India, Charlie, Juliet. No, that's too many. Too many letters. Okay, Palermo. Man, where were we flying from again? Or what was the name of our stuff here? Let's see. It's the Palermo 1P arrival. PAL 1M, PAL 3L. They have so many arrivals, that was crazy. Here we go, PAL 1P. So I think PAL 1P is out here, in there, and then that way. Actually, from the Palermo VOR out to this waypoint here. Let's see, we can go here. We can. Yeah, 427, 424. Is that the one? Yeah, 427, 424, and then Lavru, and then from Lavru, I think it is. Yeah, we're on the ILS. Yeah, these are the ILS waypoints. So what does it say? So at Palermo we want to be not overflight between flight level 11 and flight level 8, so between 8,000 and 11,000 feet at Palermo when we get there. That can be doable, and then 200 knots there and 195 there. So let's see if those things are actually in the system right now, because that's the stuff that I've been struggling with. If you look at this one, it's giving me flight level 300 for those. That's crazy. I think that's our cruising level.
Climb and maintain flight level 300, arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
It's pretty cool. Here comes the weather out there too. Right now, the weather. I mean, we have to talk about the weather. It's just so flipping good. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll actually go in and we'll put in a flight level 11 on this guy. Altitude constraint. And we'll do What are you doing now? See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like there certainly are some things that don't work well. So we'll do it's direct to codecs. I've had this happen to me before. Like I'll put something in. Well, look at this. Must be Tunisia or something. Or Tunis. Wonder what that big thing is. Pretty cool. So let's see now. Will you get back on track for me? Yes. So yeah, now it's got flight level 110, so they're good. So it's at least doing that, and then it has 4,400, 3,600. Okay, that looks much more reasonable. So we have hopes of it actually calculating the VNAV now. What has happened to me before is exactly what you've seen. Like just recently, I did something similar where I was trying to change an altitude constraint or something in regard to a waypoint. I'm not quite sure what I did because, or what caused the error to happen, but a similar thing happened where it just lost track and I wouldn't go back on, and then all of a sudden everything was wrong. It would lose the GPS, like this ring turned red, everything. I think that was like a full-on bug, like not really something I did wrong, but something that just isn't implemented correctly. Here we are, huh? What else? I've also been flying a lot of DCS lately. Become a lot more fun with this mod called DCS Liberation. You should check that out if you do fly DCS. It actually it makes a sort of a persistent campaign for you where you can bomb and blow up things, and it actually has an effect on your next mission. So that's been really fun. What else? I've been playing a little bit of those stupid, well, not stupid, but what's it called? SnowRunner, like this off-road trucking game. It seems to be quite fun. My son likes it a lot. He likes to watch me drive trucks. He likes trucks. So that's been handy. But otherwise, I must have been flight simming. I've been flying a ton of places. Like I said, I just kind of feel like the whole world opened up, and even default airports I don't mind flying to anymore because they can be quite atmospheric with just the things around them. Like I flew also, like where was it I flew out earlier today? So earlier today I flew into a small bush trip in the South Island of New Zealand. It was really special. But earlier, like I flew to is it called flew from Paya in Alaska to Anchorage, just with the real weather, and it was amazing. And then I flew from with the Airbus, and then I took the Airbus from there out to what's called, I think it's called Cold Bay. It's out in the Aleutian Islands, and it was an amazing flight. Like the Aleutian Islands, incredible. And you touch down, and you really feel like you're at the end of the world, like you're in nowhere. Or like I said, in Marfa, Texas, I flew into West Texas, and you land and there's like tons of cacti and stuff there. And I flew in with another plane that's really great. It's the working title CJ4. I'm guessing you know it, the Cessna Citation Jet. The working title mod for that is also excellent. It actually has working VNAV and approaches, and you can do stuff that you just can't do with these other things, and it's great, really good. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, a lot of that. I'm going to speed up time here too, because that also seems to be more stable than it used to be, and prepared and all these other things. Not that it's that great, but it's kind of boring flying over water. And it's a short flight, so I don't feel like cutting it in half either. That's another thing I wish I miss. I miss the little red information text. That would be nice to know if I was running at 2 times or 4 times or 8 times or these types of things. That's missing now, so you have to remember.
Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, contact Malta Center on 122.775.
Okay, so we got one of stupid handoffs. Let's see how that goes.
122.775 Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448. Malta Center Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, flight level 300.
Sometimes they just end up tossing you back and forth,
4448, Malta Center, continue as planned.
and that's really annoying. I mean, another thing that these guys did, right? Like now we have two different, we can have show different screens on these two. I mean, that wasn't like that before. Pretty great. The MCU though is still exactly the same, but it's still pretty nice. Like you can show things like weather radar on one, and we can put the weather radar there, and we can put the terrain on this one, for instance. See, now I lost track of how fast I'm running, but it looks like I'm running at twice speed. And we have top of descent coming up over there. But we are managed, so that's a little bit tricky. Hear what they have to say. Slowing way down again, back to normal speed. I just wanted to actually check also the ILS runway 25. I think I asked for the ILS, the Y ILS. I have to say it's one of my sort of things that I don't understand is what's the point of all these different ones. But they have different entries and different procedures, I guess, when you leave, etc. Anyways, so what we will do, so this is for people coming in this way. Okay, great. I mean, we're coming in this way anyway. We're coming in from Lavru, 3,500 and 3,000, I guess, pretty soon after. So, no, that's another thing that hasn't been working quite perfectly, and that is the camera system, man. It's really annoying. It hasn't. See, now it has it 109.5. So it's in there, so that's good. And then it doesn't necessarily always have the course in correctly and stuff. Let's see. And I don't understand also how this really works, but let's put it in, see if we can put it in somewhere, but normally I'm not able to. Okay, cool. We can go to perf page, and we can go to next phase, descent, and this guy, and we can put in the minimum descent, which is 500. That's kind of high for a this is another thing that's kind of cool. We can actually tune the ATIS now. So if I go to VHF2 and I go to the ATIS 123.875, doesn't work always, but I've had some success anyway. Sometimes it will work. 123.875. Yeah, no, I guess no luck, at least not at this distance. I guess we're still 120 miles up. We'll leave it on. We'll see if it actually something happens. We are at very close to our top of descent, the way that the Airbus has calculated it, so I'm hoping that ATC comes online pretty soon and tells us to go down. Set low auto brake, we'll set that. We'll assume a temperature of 9 degrees. And we'll assume 2991. Same can adjust the when we left. So far nothing from ATC.
Malta Center Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 would like to change destination to Punta Resi. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 is cleared to Punta Resi Airport as filed. Squawk 0334.
And it's hard to cancel these things too, which is really annoying. I wish it was easier to cancel the IFR, which I would like to do right now.
Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 read back correct. Radar contact flight level 300. Continue to Colex turning and following heading 035. Resume on navigation descent and maintain flight level 210.
And here we go again. It is losing track. Right? No? No, it's not. It's on track. That was a weird maneuver.
Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, please acknowledge. Continue to Colex turning and following heading 035. Proceed on course descend and maintain flight level 210. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
Heading 035 has nothing. That's complete nonsense.
Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, contact Rome Center on 131.1. Going to 131.1. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448. Rome Center Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 is at flight level 275, descending flight level 210. Aero and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, Rome Center, continue to NXE as planned.
Okay, so it somehow has me back in the flight plan. I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand how this works sometimes. It's a little crazy. Kind of picked a bit of a weird flight path. Come back, showing you a bunch of ocean. Looks pretty blank from up high. It looks better with more wind, but most of the time I think that's another niggle. Like I think the ocean could probably be a bit more sort of rough in the middle of the ocean than what they have it coded as, and it could be smoother, closer to actual shore. I guess that must be Sicily over there. That's probably Vesuvius, Mount Vesuvius, or Etna, I guess that's what it's called. Sorry. Apologies. I'll speed up a little bit. I have to go and they have a version of this Airbus now with a new flight model, basically new fly-by-wire instructions written by the fly-by-wire team, which is kind of in the name. I have to try and download that soon, but I guess I'm still running the development version. I had success with that, but I'm not running that one, the most development version. It looks amazing though. Like I love the haze and everything. It looks realistic. It looks a lot like what you see out of an airplane window when you're sitting in one, I think. Just in terms of especially the quality of light and the sort of massive brightness. Sometimes it's a little overdone, but it's nice nonetheless. It's realistic, which is better than the alternative. It's going to be interesting. It looks like there's sort of a gap in the weather, and it looks like that we're going to go through that gap and down and land, so we're not going to really go through the weather, which is, I mean, it wouldn't be a problem. It's kind of fun. I really like the bad weather in this sim. It's amazing. The weather is really, I mean, there's so many positive things to talk about, but I don't know, the globe, I guess, number one, number two, the weather, and the lighting just looks spectacular. And then of course I think the flight models are greatly improved. Like I love how things fly. It's much more challenging and interesting, and it feels less like your inputs end up in some sort of spreadsheet, and more like you're actually being affected by real forces and physics. It's I'm very impressed with it, both for the big ones, but also for the small ones. So here we go. See, that's what I was talking about. I can actually get that to come in, so I think, yeah, I can just shut it off like that. Pretty nice, huh? So you can, and I mean, it's not so, it's not new that you can use the COM2 radio and listen in, etc. But what is new is that the frequencies correspond to the ones on the charts, because because they're updating the ARAC data in the simulator. Look at that. Here we go, Sicily, huh? I was actually planned to go to Sicily in April of this year, but of course things put a stop to that. We're going on the mostly on the west coast though. East coast, I mean. It's a big island though. It's a big island. See, this is another cool thing. Like I don't know if you've noticed this before, but it does this. The windmills. I mean, they only animate when you get close to a certain extent, but they turn with a speed that's calculated by the wind speed. So it's really neat. We get all of them. Yes, we got all of them. But anyway, so the airport's behind here somewhere. Through here somewhere, so the ATC should take us down pretty soon if they want us to be able to get down. Go ahead and put the seatbelts on, change the range here. 7,000 feet, there we go.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 4448.
20 miles. Don't you need about 30 miles for 10,000 feet? It's okay. We just need to be under 11 by here, so that's 5,000 feet in 20 miles. That should be fine. Yeah. I mean, I just think the sim looks so amazing. I mean, just incredible. Okay, so there's like some clouds on the ground somewhere, and it's really impressive. What's really interesting to me, I think, is when you see where they don't have sat data, and they put in the default ground textures like we used to have, the sort of land class based crap. Oh my god, this would look horrible compared to the new stuff. It's just incredibly spectacular. It's just incredible. How well does this not look? Also, the planes look amazing. They look incredible, insane. Just such a great amount of detail and very sharp textures. But like the little bumps and all the rivets and all that sort of stuff looks really good.
Arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 444, in contact approach on 120.2. 120.2, arrow and laces, Sierra Whiskey 444.
So maybe I'm speaking too soon because it looks like it's possibly gonna work. I think the airport's back here or some. Oh, there it is. It's behind those mountains there. Now I remember. So we're gonna go probably here, then out there, around and down. Okay, I remember. That's the city right there, I think. Frame rate's telling me 27, but to me it looks actually pretty smooth. It's a little choppy, I guess, but it's pretty smooth. Like anything, that's another thing. It's general. It's much smoother. It's less stuttering. There are some pauses here and there. It seems like, I know that it's still based on some of the same sort of engine as FSX and prepared, but so there does seem to be some sort of issues here and there where it's trying to load stuff. Okay, it's coming up on 10,000 feet. Put on the landing lights. we'll set this. It was 2988, right? I think we'll need some air brake here. We're going a little fast and it's trying to slow us down and bring us down. Just look at that. It looks amazing. That looks incredible. Oh, tune approach. I haven't contacted approach.
Approach arrow and laces
Okay.
Sierra Whiskey 4448 is at 9,100 feet, descending 7,000 feet.
Yeah, if we're gonna have any chance, we're just gonna have to.
Sierra Whiskey 4448 approach, continue CJ at 427 as planned. QNH 29.80.
.80. Okay, that's changed. Ah, look at this. It's another mod I'm using that I've downloaded that I'm extremely happy with. This one is called Velo VFR, and it basically puts in all these masts all the way through Europe, and it's a must-have. It's like a must-have mod because every vertical obstruction is missing from the base game, and this one like puts them all back in. Look at how good it looks, man.
Sierra Whiskey 4448, you are 600 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 7,000 feet, QNH 29.80.
We're not gonna climb.
Climb and maintain 7,000 feet, arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
So what we're gonna do is just cancel IFR.
Approach arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448. Cancel IFR at this time.
Arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Squawk 7000. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved.
Tower arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 is 14 miles east with Kilo to land.
Arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448 tower. Make straight in runway 25. QNH 29.80 wind 178 at 20.
There we go.
Fly straight in runway 25, arrow and laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
So it's 3,000, that's the altitude. So level, I guess, is supposed to be 3,005, but you know, I'm gonna go 3,000 because that's, we're trying to intercept an ILS here. So here we go. Time to get this puppy down. Engage selected speed mode. We'll go down to 185 now first. I'll have a chance for 3,000. And we'll take flaps 1. And we'll turn on the so-called landing system. Turn on the landing system. And we'll put it into localizer mode once we start making the turn, I think. That scares me a little bit, just because It's because I don't trust it. That's why. Because I kind of feel like whenever I change modes and do things like this, that's when things end up going pear-shaped. Look at this graphics, man. Look at that. These cliffs out here. That's so cool. Okay, so that diamond seems to be moving, so I think it's safe to put it into lock. And we'll go ahead and bring the speed down to 165. Go flaps 2. And we'll arm the approach. Have lock start. Guess this is time to look out and look at the beautiful scenery. Some texture issues here, like that's to be expected that like some shadowy cliff sides won't turn up so well from outer space. All in all though, pretty good. Pretty nice job. Okay, so that's lock. Let's see if he gets on the descent now. Yeah, 3 single glide stops captured. Sweet. We'll go to flaps 3, which is our final flap of the day. And we have an approach speed of 124. No, 129. So we can go ahead and slow this down significantly. What a 134 maybe. Let's give us +5 knots. But I mean, it just looks like, look, we're in a totally different place than when we started out. Which is, I mean, not that strange. It's a plane, but it's a simulator, and the fact that they're able to sort of render different places like this is so impressive to me. So here are those masts I was talking about. He has radio masts, like all kinds of masts, like cell phone or phone towers, all of that stuff they put in the sim. We love VFR. Really just want to shout out to those guys because they really impressed me with what they've done. Well, this is looking very good. We are lined up, the gear is down, flaps is down, seatbelt sights on. Yeah, we can go ahead and set this. Before we touch down, let's just do one check, because I feel like I'm getting a bit more stutters than I'm used to. Maybe it's the recording, but the only other thing I changed was this. Let's see if that helps. Brings us back up to the 40s, because when I'm in 40s, it's silky buther smooth on my monitor. Maybe it did help. Maybe it did help, to be honest.
Cleared to land runway 25 Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
Resetting my track IR here and getting set up for the approach. This should be pretty smooth. We have 40 knot wind from the left though, from the south. We have those cliffs in the way. There might be some chop. Let's see if there's some chop. If there's some chop, then that's pretty nicely done by Microsoft. They're doing really well with the modeling of weather, I think, but I don't know if they're doing that well. It's a big city, Palermo. It really does stretch all the way out here. Take out the autopilot.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
It's the other thing that it's been doing.
Too
It's
low.
been yelling
Terrain.
at me a lot
Too low. Terrain.
lately from
Too low. Terrain.
things on approach,
Too
which
low.
I'm not sure if
Terrain.
it's supposed to do.
Too low.
Maybe I'm doing
Terrain.
something wrong again, but
Too low. Terrain.
I just pushed this
Too
off a
low.
little bit here,
Terrain.
but not too bad.
Too low. Terrain. 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 Too low. Terrain.
20. Retard. Retard. 5.
Arrow and Lisa Sierra Whiskey 4448, turn next taxiway. Arrow and Lisa Sierra Whiskey 4448, contact ground on 121.625.
That was pretty nice. Very happy with that. Okay. I guess we'll contact ground.
121.625, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
Oi, oi, oi.
Razy ground, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, request taxi
I
to the
made it.
gate.
Spectacular.
Arrow and Lisa Sierra Whiskey 4448 taxi to gate 1 via taxiway Bravo.
Taxiing to gate 1 using taxiway Bravo, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448.
So gate 1. Yeah, see. Obviously not what they have said over here, but we're assuming the one on the left then, since that's the lower numbered one. So it would be the first gate, which is this one. I thought, whoa. Sorry guys, that was me. Ooh. That's a very weird. The markings and stuff don't exactly line up with the dudes. So. Okay, we'll do it like this. We'll stop here, and that would be that. Let's see ground services. Let's see if we can get the thing to connect.
Razy ground, Arrow and Laces Sierra Whiskey 4448, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Arrow and Lisa Sierra Whiskey 4448 the jetway is going to be connected.
There we go. 46 minutes. They take off landing, and yeah, see here you can kind of see how it's been. Let's just continue here before we go on and just show you some more stuff from the simulator, I guess. But yeah, no, it's just very, very, very nice. I think I've been incredibly happy with the massive upgrade that this is to our hobby. It's ridiculous how big of a difference it makes, and how sort of it's taken something that felt like it was going to be it was dying a little bit, right? Like not dying, but it was very hard to convince people to get into this because it takes so much work to just set up. I mean, it takes so much work to just install an old prepared installation or explainer or anything really. It's just horrible. But now we have this thing that's just beautiful from the from the go, right from start. I'll do a quick run through of my add-ons so you can see what I've added in here. So not a lot compared to what it used to be, right? But also, I mean, I miss a lot of what I used to have, but it's pretty great. I've been using this program, which is called the MSFS add-ons linker, which is really great because it's pretty smart. It just like asks you for where you want to store your add-ons, and then you make folders and put them in folders, and it syncs them up into the community folder without actually putting them in the community folder, which is nice. Meaning you can have your sim add-ons in different places. So I basically have a bunch of liveries, which I've sorted into continents. They're all 8K liveries for the A320. I have some for the Cessna, the 208, the working title CJ4, and the TBM 980. I have some planes. I have the salty mod and the working title mod and stuff, but I haven't actually put them in here. Also the diamond mod. It's not active right now because I was trying to bug fix and find out what was messing up things. So a bunch of this is turned off, and that's just to decrease loading time, so you can turn things on and off. So I knew I was flying in the EU, so I just turned on EU in general. So for EU, I have France. Just have some things in France, bridges and and some airports and stuff. And in Greece, I have Skiathos, and I have Corfu and Samos. I'll probably get more. Greece has some fun airports to fly to. And UK, I got some stuff there too, mostly because it's really high quality what they have, like really good things for Liverpool and stuff. And as you may know, I've never really flown much in the UK, mostly because of performance. It's just such a performance hog, used to be unprepared, but now it's great. This one, we love, it's called Puffin Sim or something. We love VFR Region 1, amazing. This is the must-have. This is all the masts everywhere. Then I have Iceland, Greenland, and like the Faroe Islands. Never flown any of those places, but I plan on it. Norway. I have everything for Norway because I mean I'm from Norway, and so I have all the stuff from Norway. Also good stuff from Norway. These are the must-haves, I think. The Mid Norway fix, and North Norway fix, and South Norway fix. It fixes all the incorrect elevations in lakes because Norway was full of that, like terrible issues. Norway has pretty bad mesh in general, so that really needs an upgrade. Norway is pretty poorly represented. America, some Alaskan stuff. So I think it's PACD. That's the airport I was talking about that I flew into. That was so amazing. And this one didn't work. Washington, I have Bellingham and some other stuff. My wife is from Washington State, so I have a lot of stuff from there. Jackson Hole, which is a great freeware version, and Mountain Air, which is a fun little airport to fly to. Sitka, Barrow, yeah, different stuff in America. And then for traffic, I have the global AI ship traffic. It's pretty easy to do it. You have to go on AvSim or somewhere and search how you do it, but basically you have to make a JSON file to sit with the folder, and then you just add it like you add any other any other add-on, and it works. They don't have wakes, and some of them are missing some textures and stuff, but it's still pretty funny. At least you have boats and there's some variation stuff, so that's great. Yeah, what else can we show you? Yeah, this, I don't know why this doesn't work. I really don't. I've flown way more than 47 hours. But it seems like it's really severely broken, this thing, and maybe it has to do with the fact that I ran it in sort of admin developer mode for a while and stuff, but I'm not sure. No, I didn't mean to go to Hangar. I meant to go to my logbook, because if you, no, you can't somewhere else. So I mean 188 flights already, and 45 hours. Okay, I guess. I don't know. It does make sense to me. It feels like there's something really off with the logbook. But what do I know? Anyways, guys, it's nice to talk to you again. I can't promise you there'll be a ton more content coming up, but there might be some more. It's hard to find the time to actually sort of sit in your own room and turn on the recording equipment and fly and know that you're going to be undisturbed. That's mainly the reason why there's been so few videos, because there's a lot of sort of small disturbances, and that's just not something I'm interested in working around. If that makes any sense. I'm doing this just because I want to, not because I'm trying to build a channel or a following or anything. So it takes second priority, but it's nice to see your reaction to me being back and everything, so that's kind of cool. And I really love the new sim, so I'll definitely be flying more, so you don't be surprised if you see and hear more from me going forwards. Anyways, thanks for now guys, and talk to you later. Bye bye.